Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the new normal class of Mathematics 7. I am your teacher, Romel Palado. Before we are going to proceed to our topic, let us first have a sort of review of the past lesson. Last week, we discussed about the set operations. What are the set operations? We have complement of set, set difference, intersection, and union. Now our topic is all about the real number system. So here's our objectives for today's discussion. At the end of this discussion, you should be able to identify the integers from a given list of numbers, define and illustrate the absolute value of a number, and lastly, find the opposite number of integer. Do you know that during winter, the temperatures in some places can be much colder than the freezing point of water? For example, in America as well as in Canada, they can experience a snow. So at this temperature, the weather becomes bitterly cold, hereby creating fog and freezing exposed bodies of water, as you can see in the figure 2.2. So that picture shows that the house is covered with snow. A temperature below 0 is often written using a negative sign before the number. If the temperature above 0, it is often written using a positive sign. So, just like in science, you use thermometer in reading the body's temperature. So we have positive and negative integers. So recall that 0 together with the natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and so on are the numbers positive. And the numbers negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and so on are called negative numbers. The integer 0 is neither positive nor negative. For example, tell whether the following numbers are negative or positive. For number 1, 64. So the solution is that is a positive. For number 2, negative 2. So that is negative. For number 3, that is 1. So that is positive. For number 4, that is negative 1. That is negative. So it is easy for you to determine if it is a positive or negative. If there is a hyphen or negative sign before the number, that is negative. If it does not contain any sign, that is a positive number, except for 0. 0 is neither positive nor negative. We have number lines. When thinking about real numbers, you may find it helpful to think of a line. This line contains an infinite numbers of points. A real number is assigned to each point on the line, and a point is assigned to each real number. This line is called number line, as shown in the below of these slides. So that is a number lines. So how to create a number line? To make a number line, create first a horizontal line and divide the line in equidistant, meaning equal in distance, so equidistant. Second, label first the point where 0 is located. Then to the right of 0 is the positive numbers, starts with least number of positive integers, and to the left of 0 is the negative integers, greatest number of negative integers. So as you can see in the picture or in the diagram, it started with 1 up to 10 to the right of 0. And to the left of 0, it started with negative 1 and up to negative 10. So what is absolute value of integers? Think of the opposite integers. Opposite integers are of the same distance from 0. The only difference between opposite integers is their direction from 0. One is to the right and the other is to the left. If you are only interested in determining the distance but the direction of a number from 0, you are looking for absolute value. The absolute value can never be negative since you are looking for the distance. So there is no zero in, or there is no negative in distance. For example, the absolute value of negative 15 is 15, and that of 9 is still 9. Remember that absolute value means if n is an integer, you write the absolute value of n to represent its absolute value. This expression, the absolute of n, is read as the absolute value of n. Use the number line to find the integer that can replace n. For number 1, the absolute value of n is equal to 5. For number 2, the absolute value of n is equal to 0. So here's the solution. For number 1, the equation absolute value of n is equal to 5. You can read as the absolute value of n is equal to 5. It means that n is 5 units away from 0. To get n, count 5 units either to the left or right from 0. You will find that n is equal to negative 5 or n is equal to 5, as you can see in the picture below. For number 2, the equation, the absolute value of n is equal to 0. The absolute value is still 0 since 0 is neither positive nor negative. In order for you to understand well what is the absolute value, here's the example. Find the absolute value of the following integers. For number 1, negative absolute value of negative 6 is equal to negative 6. It is because there is a negative sign before the absolute value given. So that's why our answer is negative 6. For number 2, the absolute value of negative 6. As you can see in number 2, the difference between 1 and 2, the negative sign is inside the absolute value. So that's why our answer is 6. For number 3, the absolute value of positive 6 is the same as number 2, still 6. For number 4, it is negative absolute of 6. Even though that there is no negative sign inside the absolute value, but there is a negative sign before the absolute value, so the answer is negative 6. Establishing, or let's have a short recap. Answer each question, refer to the given numbers, negative 27, negative 1, 0, 8, and 12. So, which number or numbers is or are whole numbers? So, we can have negative 27, negative 1, 0, 8, and 12. Since that are the only positive or whole numbers. For number 2, which number or numbers is or are negative? So, the negative numbers are negative 27 and negative 1. For number 3, which number or numbers is or are positive? So, the positive numbers are 8 and 12. Which number or numbers is or neither positive or negative? So, that is 0. For letter B, answer each question. What is the opposite of 5, of negative 13, of 0? So, first, the opposite of 5 is negative 5. The opposite of negative 13 is positive 13. And the opposite of 0 is still 0. Since 0 is neither positive nor negative. Number 2. If integers negative 24, 32, 19, negative 15, 0, 60, and negative 31 are arranged in order in which they appear on the number line, which integer would be leftmost and rightmost? So the leftmost is negative 31. For the rightmost is number 60. For number 3, what is the absolute value of an integer? So the absolute value of integers, let's focus on number 2. So the absolute value of negative 24 is 24. For 32, that is 32. For 19, the same. For negative 15 is positive 15. For 0 is the same. For 60 is the same. And negative 31 is positive 31. So kindly do the activity number 3, the real number system, for your output. If you have any clarifications or questions regarding our topic for today, you may contact me to my cell phone number 0930-680-829. Again, if you have any questions or clarifications about our topic, you may contact me to my cell phone number 0930-680-829. Or you may log on to our new LCMS, gaetf.sims.school/LCMS. So, stay safe everyone and God bless.